Jones, aka New ID, sitting across from Kenny Analyst. We also got Kwame Cherry, man. What's been going on in your mind, man?
Right now in America, we are going through some. It's interesting because social media, social media really puts a magnifying glass on where we stand in the United States. So it's a lot of people out here that are covert racists. So they had their real intentions behind, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And then you have people that are outwardly, vocally racist. And I got a few questions with that. It's like, with your neighbor, would you prefer they be the covert racist or more outwardly, where they stand? They got the racist flag in their front yard. They never speak to you and everything like that. Would you rather it be under them circumstances or them waving at you like you friends, but you already know it's some ill intent behind that?
You want to know why that's such a tricky situation? Because you made a reel and you talk about the difference between racist and bigotry.
Right.
And, bigotry is someone that don't really have any impact on your life, but they just insult you and say really mean things.
Mm-hmm.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, the racist is when someone, you can meet the criterias, but they just don't, they are in the way of you getting a job or or stopping you from buying something or based off your skin color.
Right.
Right. So when I think of, and I think both of them get crossed. Like, I think a lot of people are mixing the two
because they so similar.
Yeah.
But like, it's crazy that y'all look at it like that, because like I don't look at it like that. I look at it more of a fact of the matter way.
Yeah.
So like, if somebody don't like gay people or trans people, they can be bigoted in that way.
Yeah.
But if I'm judging you based on your race, that's what I call a racist. I'm acting like this because you're black. That's racism. If you're acting like this because of somebody's sexual preference or a voting decision they made, that could be bigoted because it's not connected to their race. Yeah. So that's how I separate it like that. But as far as like whether you like covert racism or upfront racism, it's like an Overton window. So like if you have a covert racist, they make a slip sometimes. So like then they move a little bit to the right. So it's like if they had a racism, it might slip out in a speech or a verbiage. But when you have somebody that's outward racism, that ends up sliding into like physical violence, and that's what I end up seeing.
Sorry about that, but one more thing about and then to answer your main question, I would rather go with the outward
racist,
right,
me too,
because the covert racist is
dangerous,
way more dangerous, because you got to think this can be your doctor, this can be it could be
your lawyer,
it could be the person serving your food at the restaurant. So and that's the worst. Or it could, like, I remember I watched the movie, it wasn't about racism, but it was about a lady that wanted a house and she couldn't afford it, and then people that would move into the house, she would poison them, so she'll bring those sweets.
I didn't think you was going to say that.
So she was obsessed with this house and she couldn't have it, so people that would move into the house, she would bring them sweets and cakes and stuff, and she'd kill them slowly, and people wouldn't know why they. And the crazy thing is, like, every person that lived in that house, only one of them would die because the other person wouldn't eat the sweets. So people couldn't understand why people was dying, and it was because she was bringing them sweets. But that's her. That's like a covert. That would be identical of a covert person. Like, you're hanging around me, you're being around me, but you infiltrate my family, my friends, and you're more dangerous than anything, because now I think you're my friend. I'll tell you personal stuff, and you end up using it against me down the line. So I would go with the outward. Let me know all my friends and stuff are niggas and stuff. Right. Let me know up front.
Yeah, I would say that too, because like if you can let me know what it is up front. But I just feel like, as somebody that's holding it back or hiding it, they like cowardice in that way, but it leads to them kind of like being at bay. Like they
cowards for sure.
When you get like a whole group of outward racist people and everybody just knows where they stand, it just leads to political movements. I think that was the march down in Charlotte, and they was marching with the tiki torches and all of this.
You will not replace us. You will not replace us. You will not replace us. You will not replace us.
Like, we're outwardly racist, but we're taking this to the next step. So now that all of the races, because also you get public shaming, humiliation.
Yeah.
You can't just say that you're a racist out front, because it's usually some consequences tied to that. So it's like, a racist can be a bio-racist, and they may not know that each other is like that because they both keeping it at bay. But if like, I'm racist, oh, well, I'm racist too. Let's team up. Now they connected like Voltron. now they making whole political movements, and that's what we kind of dealing with like right now with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, but also with this racist thing, we also still got, we talk about this thing, freedom of speech, and we all have a little personal thought about somebody or some race, right? With the racist part, and we actually got to take the racist part out, because these people are not really stopping us from doing anything, right? So it's not like we're applying to work with them and they telling us no because we're black or whatever the case may be. It's really, we talking about bigotry, right?
I don't count it as that. Like I told you before, like, because like you can not like somebody about something that's not connected.
The
to their
definitions
race.
are too close. Yeah. But it's like, you call it what you want to, but from what I've seen, it's about somebody thinking that they are superior because of their race. So you saying you a white man or a white woman and you have superior genetics to us, and you saying that we monkeys or whatever, or more closely related to the monkeys or whatever BS they be coming up with, that's more racist. Because well, actually no, that's more bigoted in my opinion, because they just saying this. It's just a belief that they have that's associated to race. But if this same person that's like that has a job opening, and I come to apply for the job and they don't hire me because I'm a black man, now that enters racism, because you put in your race ahead of my race. I'm losing money. I'm losing food on the table because you don't like me because of how I look.
You connecting it to like the power structure and things like that.
But when you say that, is it also fair to say that sometimes some of the thought of bigotry comes from their household, right?
Yeah.
So can we fully blame them sometimes?
It's also a lack of exposure, because it's like I found out that racism and those thoughts, they don't really hold up well to contact. So it's like when you be like, oh, black people, they just do this and they do that, and then you meet a black person like myself that doesn't really fit in the boxes. I've changed a lot of white people's minds.
You're one of the good ones.
You're
one of the good ones. That's covert
and that's the bullshit. But it's like they be trying to like goddamn put everybody in the box, and they'll never have met a black person in their life.
So sometimes it be a thing that they just simply don't know. Sometimes they just don't know, and you gotta give a person. It's only the bigotry part is only really, really bad when someone's direct, right? When they really saying the most meanest things that they can possibly think of to offend you. But like now, and that's why I feel like these two get crossed, right? Now we're in a time where if you wear "Make America Great Again" hat, you're considered racist, and it shouldn't be that way. No, it shouldn't be that. From wearing a hat shouldn't automatically make you a racist.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't, but it's about like
what it stands for, right?
Yeah, because like you can't wearing a swastika shouldn't make you racist. You just wearing a thing that's the embodiment of racism. Like that's what that is. So it's like
and that's tricky too. Yeah.
What people end up taking from these different messages and how they feel about it, but on a whole is usually that, and they won't just admit that it's that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not racist. I just don't want black people living by me or going to school with my kids. What are you saying? What do you think that you're saying?
But you can't. But even with
that's a fact in life.
Yeah, but it's is it really something wrong with that? Like, is it no real? No, is it really something wrong with that?
So
with them saying that they don't want to live by people like that?
So
Yeah,
here
is
go
there
the
something wrong with that?
real life situation that I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
I'm online expressing that I only want to date and procreate with black women. I'm being called racist because I only want to be with my own kind. I'm not saying that the white woman is inferior, the Mexican woman is inferior, nothing like that. My personal preference and my choice is to only want a black woman in my life for physical intimacy, and I'm being called racist for that.
I wouldn't say that. Even if a white person said like I'm just attracted to white women, I wouldn't say that they racist for that.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say it could be looked as racist because if a Hispanic woman have the criteria to be a good woman for you, and you simply don't choose them off of being Hispanic.
I mean,
I don't need to be racist right now.
but like internal attraction, you're not racist based on internal attraction. That's tough. Like, oh, she really got everything I need. She don't have what you need.
No,
No,
but
exactly.
it's fair
My
though.
kid ain't gonna have the set up things that it needs.
But that's identical of a businessman that's only hiring white women and men.
No, it's not.
And even though you got the criterias and you can do the exact same job as them, they specifically not picking you because they're like, I only want this race in my establishment.
Internal attraction. If he was hiring somebody based on how they look, and I'm like, well, HR, I need to look at him. I'm only hiring this type of woman. Like, what's up with you?
Yeah. So that could be considered as a little racist.
No, it's not. Shout out to the black queen.
Yeah, shout out, and you're right. Shout out to the black
Oof,
queen.
I love her.
But all women are good women.
Yeah, but
they are, but they can't. Not every woman can be in my life.
That's fair.
Not every black woman could be in my life. You have to fit the criteria for my life.
So by you saying that and everything, and not every black woman could be in your life, then that means that leaves an open window for
only black women.
You can't say not every black woman, and then only black women.
Only black women, the right ones.
So it's like, okay, even though every black woman don't meet the criteria, a Pacific, and that could be even racist too. But
I mean, but like you talking about attraction, you can't choose what you're attracted to. So I would just remove that all the way.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, because it's like
I'm not talking negatively about these women. If I had work to offer to white women, Hispanic women, I'm hiring them all day long, and black women.
Yeah.
But we talking about my personal life, who I have to lay in bed with, who I have to create a family with.
Yeah.
I have the choice of who I want to do that with. Yeah. And on the flip side, if we talking about biology, if my thing only lasts for a black woman, it's only so much we could, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to tie that in because, like, if you white and you want to date a white woman, that's all peace. But if you get to mentioning anything about the other side, then that's the issue.
Yeah. I don't care if another black man dates white women, Mexican women, or nothing. It's not going to negatively affect me. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah. If that's what he likes, by all means, you pick and choose what you want to do with your life, but don't you dare think that you could come into my life and tell me what to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's peace.
I would say that. So, but you were saying you was thinking about things Nick Fuentes?
Yeah, this ties into Nick Fuentes because I seen a video of him. He said, I'm a white man and I want to marry and have children with white women only. I see nothing wrong with that. Because I feel the same exact way about me and my seed and my lineage. So I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say nothing's wrong with that. But that do lead me into a side tangent about people with self-hate.
Yeah,
because like even when you said he does say that, you know, he's a white man, but he's really not fully white.
Right. Yeah, he's mixed.
So how do y'all think like self-hate affects different people?
So with the self-hate thing,
because he hates that side of himself. He don't like acknowledging it at all, and then people try to just call him Mr. Fuentes, and then he don't even want to hear his last name sometimes.
Right. You want to know that it's because he's trying to pick, you know, and it's a lot of people do this. This is this movie I watched. It's called The Order. And it's based on a true story about how it was this group of people, this racist group, and they went up against the government, but it was this Hispanic that wanted to be part of the group, and it was like, well, we have a problem here, right? Because this is only whites only, and he was like, well, even though I got Hispanic in me, but I'm from like the white side, the European side, everything.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to that, I don't even think, sometimes I don't know if it's self-hate. I think it's them like, okay, I got two versions of me. Which one do I want to be?
Yeah,
and I think they just try to pick the version of what their belief is.
Right. I don't expect you guys to agree with this, but this is how I see it. Self-hate in the black community looks like women wearing weaves and all of this other stuff that they be doing and trying to live up to the European beauty standard. That is self-hate on my end, or a black person who don't date black purposely because they, you know what I'm saying, and they actually date other people and think that they doing better because they with this race of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
And you're right, people do have this bad habit of feeling like if I date something, could they consider it being exotic or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So people do have this thing.
Foreign.
Foreign.
You know what I'm saying?
Foreign.
Yeah.
So they do feel like they have this thing where if they dating something outside of the race, it's something better. But I think a lot of that has to do with sometimes they done had bad experience, and then they just put an umbrella under that whole. They just put that umbrella over the whole entire race, and then they go outside because they have one bad experience, like what we spoke about with restaurants, right? Like all because you had a bad experience of bad customer service with one black customer doesn't mean that all of them are like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people do that, and then they come across another race, and then it'd be completely different, and they'd be like, "Oh, most all of you must be like that."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, when it comes to that, I don't think there's real. I don't think it's people that really hate themselves. I think it's one of the things where they don't know or they haven't seen a lot of trying to be great, right? So that they say in China, I had a friend and she studied abroad and she went to China, and then like she her friend in China was African, and then another friend of them was white, and all three of them, they thought that she was the poorest. Really, she was the richest, but that because they go off of nationality, so they feel like, okay, he's from African, blah blah blah, he's maybe of some good race, and then and then with white, they be like, white is right out there, right? And that's
universal code.
Yeah,
in most countries, the lighter your skin, the better the treatment.
Yes, but that's based off of, you got to think of the bad instances of blacks and how we are presented, and how our music is presented and how our movies are presented. So sometimes I think when it comes to all of that, and with the blacks, they're also going off that same thing that everybody else is going off of.
And I hate that as well, because it's like when I hear a black person say that, like, "Are you not black? Are you that?" And they be like, "No, well, it's a bunch of people like you. You're not that unique, and everybody's not doing the bad thing."
Yeah.
So it's like every black person knows a black person is doing the right thing,
Yeah.
but they don't look at them. They want to think that the black person that is doing a negative thing is representative of black people as a whole. But I'm like, but you're not a bad black person.
Yeah.
So you cannot think that. You cannot think that as a person that's not that.
And it's not advertised enough either, right? So yes, we know that, but we have. It feels like sometimes it does feel like sometimes we have to dig a little bit deeper to see that. And for the people that's only surface level, they not digging too deep, so they going off surface level of everything that's going on around them. So they going off surface level TV shows, they going off surface level music, they going off surface level how things look in the news, on top of social media.
And that's crazy, because it's like when you look
they making their decision off that.
and who's controlling all of that? Not us. And that's terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that goes back to the racist power structure that you're talking about, because who's putting all this front and center? Not us.
Yeah.
But
We can't control. I'm sorry that part, bro. But we can't control that though, right? So I don't like Tyler Perry. I don't think he's a good representation representation of the culture with his shows.
He putting BS.
Yeah. and now you got a bunch of people feeling like, oh, this is what they really go through. This is them for real, and it's like, no, it's not.
Even in the hood, most people in the hood are good. It's just those few small bad apples in a bunch that's ruining it for everybody. So it's unfortunate the situation we in, and the movies and music is glamorizing a very small percentage of our community.
And it only takes one bad interaction, like you were saying about the food and everything.
Tyrone stole my bike when I was a little boy. Tyrone took my bike. Ain't no blacks good to me. Come on now. And they just going off that one bad experience and they say F blacks forever.
Yeah.
Y'all know about the taking serious the actor Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like he was saying, like one of his close friends ended up getting raped by a black person.
Yeah.
And he was saying like he had it in his heart that he wanted to kill a black person based on what happened to his friend.
A brutally honest admission from actor Liam Neeson in an interview with The Independent, promoting his latest movie, Cold Pursuit, where he plays a man seeking revenge.
Gonna kill him.
He says he understands the rage that can drive a person to revenge, sharing his own real-life reaction to hearing that a woman close to him was raped.
I asked, did she know who he was? No. What color were they? She said it was a black person.
The actor says he actually carried a billy club-like weapon called a kosh.
I went up and down areas with a kosh, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping some black would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, so that I could kill him.
Neeson says he now realizes just how awful his behavior was.
It was horrible when I think back, but I did that, and I've never admitted that.
And that was only one interaction. And, he ended up having to work through that because you can't say that the whole group is like that just because that thing happened. But when it hit personal like that, you do feel like that. So, like, if my brothers get mistreated or whatever and get jumped by a bunch of white people, it would be hard for me to be like, they not all like that.
Yeah. And I think police get that the worst. And everything. I think police get that the worst. I think the whole thing about police and if you think about the history of it, it's fair in some cases. There was, a lot of mishandling based on, past situations. But like moving forward, I feel like how we treat and talk about the officers of the law, because you come across one bad cop, doesn't mean that all cops are bad. Some actually care, some are actually for justice. It's just, and then, so like what you're saying, like even in that story, and I remember that story, and I feel like we all go through. I done went through that before.
Yeah, had
like,
a bad experience.
Yeah, I done had a real bad experience. I had gotten to, and true story, I had gotten to a real bad car accident. And this is like my second vehicle. No, this was my first vehicle. The first vehicle I ever had, it was like a Kia Rio. It was real small.
Ooh, that was my first car too, man.
Hey, y'all two Kia boys. Where my keys at, man? I gotta have my keys. Man. I get the Kia boys in here.
But like, I didn't have gap insurance at the time, right?
Man.
And get into a real bad car accident, and it was by a Hispanic person, and I end up, by me not having gap insurance, when we go to court, I'm thinking that they're going to cover everything. I don't know anything, so I'm thinking they're going to cover everything. It wasn't my fault. It was proven not my fault. And all they got was a ticket, a running stop sign ticket, and, maybe some other tickets on that situation. I still had to pay for the rest of that car. And I remember I was so furious that I was talking about Hispanics for like a whole month. Like, man, they can't drive. They're not even here. Like I really went through that. Yeah. So what he went through, that happens. Yeah. Sometimes, especially that was his daughter that got. So sometimes you it's hard to separate because now you're looking at everybody like the person that great, or you're looking at everybody or the person that hit you. So luckily he went through the self-healing and he got out of it. But I can understand why he would feel that way in the beginning.
Those bad interactions, it can be damaging. You gotta really take self-healing and maturity to realize that they ain't all like that. Because like even with the police, I had a bad experience with them when I was very young. Like I was walking home, and then they ended up pulling me over when I was young, and I didn't have an ID at the time, so they was like, I'm standing there and I'm walking, and then they pull up on me and they're like, "Where the break-in at, Darnell?" What are y'all talking about? It's a break-in. They like what crime is going on around here? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just trying to get home. And then they like, "What's your name?" I get them my name. Of course, no crimes, anything. They type it in, and nothing is popping up. And they like, what's your real name, Devontae? I'm like, they just kept calling me these random black names, and they wouldn't accept that I didn't have a record as a teenager. And then they ended up taking me to the court building, making me sit on the stairs in the rain, and until my mom came in, they wouldn't even let me wait in the car with them. And yeah, so that hate wrecked. But then I see stories as I grew up and mature about cops helping women in domestic disputes and things like that, saving some people. But I've never experienced it, but I couldn't be like, I still don't trust cops, but I won't say that they all bad.
Yeah, but in the beginning, I'm pretty sure that gave you what he was feeling about the whole, so it's not. So
I was like, with me being a minor, how much time would I get if I smoke both these niggas?
I had a similar situation to that. I had a orange bike, and I'm riding a bike home. Police officer pull over. He say, "Hey, we looking for a stolen bike." It was one cop, and he had like another cop in the passenger seat. And the dude in the passenger, he was like, "We looking for a red bike. He got an orange bike." So the dude, he checked his partner because his partner was on some BS and he seen it because I had an orange bike. Yeah. And they like, "We looking for a stolen red bike. This ain't the guy." And it's just like, it's a lot of fugazi stuff going on in the police department that they need to fix, man, for sure.
And going back to that racist power structure, because what if the police didn't even exist before the slave patrols?
Exactly.
So they had the slave patrols, but then after slavery ended, they changed all of those slave patrols into police officers. So they was just all racist at the beginning.
So they still operating off of that. Yeah, you're right.
And don't go to the penitentiary, because in them small little towns, there's people from them small towns that's working in those penitentiaries that never been exposed to black people and are racist, and they're gonna negatively affect your life while you up in there. Don't do crime, kids. For real.
But back to the Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes. Back to him. I don't, I know very little of him, and the little I did see, it sounded like to me that he just have an opinion. He's from Chicago too, by the way. He's from Illinois.
Yeah.
It sounded like he just have opinions, and like one of the things he was talking about, is media and who's controlling media, and even said like at first I didn't agree with Trump, but then I liked some of his ideology. He even said like, some people was angry with Obama with just doing what he's supposed to do, and he just stood with that. So when he play with those words, yes, I think he's just doing it to get attention, but it's so hard to just be like, yo, you're a complete racist, bigotry person when he's not doing anything direct.
I don't believe that he. I don't believe he a racist.
Yeah,
don't flip the table. Don't flip it.
He is racist, 100%.
There's got to be one real nigga. Can the real nigga please stand up? There has to be one real nigga left in America, in this damn country.
Okay.
So he would seem like a Charlie Kirk type, because like we talked about Charlie Kirk on the previous episode, he was more ambiguous and you clearly didn't know. People like Nick Fuentes, his rise to power and claim to fame is that he is that all the way. So like in Israel, they have a thing called an ethno-state, right? So an ethno-state is only somebody that is of this race can live here. That's like, so only Jews can live in Israel, and that's it. And then if you marry into the family, then they count you as Jewish, but they get hazy. But they have an ethno-state. I cannot move to Israel.
Okay.
And he's That's what Nick Fuentes is fighting for. So he says, well, if the Jews can have this, then we can have that here. And then everybody's like, why won't you go back to Europe and make that an ethno state? He's like, no, we want to make it here. So his whole thing is sending all black people back to Africa, Mexicans back to Mexico, and he's been advocating for this since he was young.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And at first, and it was seeming like it was just words, but now he has political aspirations, and to the point that he's controlling Republicans in the Republican Party, because like if he has a group they call the Goipers, that's what they call it, and with the Goipers he's threatening political racists because he will have his whole fan base because they politically activated. So he'd be like, okay, if you don't do what I say and you don't go, we're gonna make you fail your race, like your political race. So he will send his whole fan base and make them vote, and he's tainting Republican races like that.
Okay, yeah,
so
that's bad.
So he and it's getting he's growing stronger. So right now, he's moving all of the white nationalists and white supremacists from MAGA, which didn't even seem possible. But for like how strong MAGA was, America great. Now they're moving to America first. Now they switching the hats they're burning up MAGA hats. The Republicans are right now, and they putting on America first hats. So now you'll see the hats change from red to blue, and he is a major part of that.
This is the dichotomy. What are you for? Are you with America first or are you with MAGA? I think after this month, after this year, 2025 is the year that MAGA died.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's his thing. America first.
Yeah, so you will see that. So the fact that he has enough political influence to sway people from Trump, which is like a cult leader. Like, Trump, like people would ride and die for Trump. They did January 6th for him. Yeah.
So but he's been making a lot of mistakes, Trump have.
With the Epstein files.
Yeah.
So him being in those Epstein files and doing all of that stuff, they got emails with him with Bill Clinton about something hazy, some sexual, bisexual type emails going on right now. So Trump is in the hot seat. So that's why he's also, so now Nick Fuentes is looking at this as like an opportunity to be like, okay, if I can dethrone MAGA with America first, he is going to be a real political problem in the next coming years. So yeah, he's been stepping away from the ethno state rhetoric, and as he's been growing older. But that's what he was on. Him and Lawrence Southern, they was ethno state this, ethno state this. This is what, and they were saying like we shouldn't feel bad for wanting a state of our own. If the Jews can have this and nobody said nothing to them, why can't we have it? And
we got that going on in Arkansas right now. They have a little town, a little settlement that's whites only out there.
Oh, no sundown, right?
Yeah, but it's it's
gone by sundown.
Yeah, but it's private property, and so they allowed to do whatever they want to do with that. But I don't see them being able to ethnically cleanse the whole United States. But going on to what you were saying, you said that when he was younger, he was into that. So you saying in your mind, you don't think that this man has the ability to change his views on certain things like that?
He do, but like for him to have that much hatred and like that was his whole claim to fame. Like he could say that, but it's like everything that he's talking about still today is still adjacent to that. It's not like contradictory to that. It's just on the side. So like right now we just focus on dethroning Trump right now, but like we haven't said that we don't agree with the ethno state. We just not talking about it.
Because when I was 20 years old, compared to 25-year-old, compared to 30-year-old, even compared to 32, 33, however old I am, my thinking patterns and my brain waves is going in a whole different direction every so many years. I don't agree with things I did at 18 right now, being in my 30s. So I think that,
he could change his mind, but he hasn't disavowed that rhetoric, and he couldn't because his fan base is rabid. Yeah. So like they are completely locked in.
Because he did say on a recent interview that he's not a white nationalist. He said that.
I would have to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, because like that would be crazy if he did, because like that's his whole claim.
Like he separated himself from that cause, because I was trying to see if he was that, and I couldn't find it. I didn't see him. Well, actually, I seen him saying that he's not part of that. But I got to do more research on him. Apparently,
He's as pretty much Hitler adjacent. That's what ended up getting him banned from every bank in America. Like he has to deal money in crypto because he can't even get a bank account.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because him attacking Jews on that way. Well, he was attacking every other race in that way, but you can't talk about Jews in that way. So they banned him from every bank in America. So the fact that he can't even get paid from anything, he has to get cryptocurrency.
shout out to the Jews though. Shout out to the Jews. We don't want no smoke over here. We don't want no smoke.
Wait, so him just when you say attack, like, you know, you don't have to repeat what he said, but did he say something that was more bigotry towards?
Hitler adjacent is what I will say. What he's saying about them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So he hates them, and he's been attacking them, and
Similar to what Kanye West said.
Yeah.
and he ended up Kanye West ended up meeting with him.
Yo, you know I'm here with my white supremacist homeboy Nick. We back.
Him and Sneeko, back when he was planning on running for president.
Yeah.
But so like if he said that he's not white nationalist after all of that actual action, I would believe that he's trying to backtrack because he got other political aspirations. Because you can't be in office saying no wild stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because so if he is backtracking now, it's because he didn't went too far, and too close to the sun. Because like when you get banned from every bank in America, you're doing too much.
I don't even understand. So how do he buy anything?
I just told you he gets cryptocurrency.
But you can't. Everybody don't accept cryptocurrency, right?
You can get it switched to bread. You can get it switched to money, but that's how he uses his money. And then he tries to use the foreign exchanges, but he can't have a bank account.
Jeez, wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
You gotta be mindful with this political stuff. It's only so many more episodes of this.
As long as we're not attacking no groups.
Exactly.
We're not attacking.
We're not attacking the whites, the Mexicans, and definitely not attacking the blacks. I love my blacks, man. With all my heart. I love you, brother, sister, everybody, man.
Yeah.
Y'all had any more on it?
What about you? I mean, how do you feel about him as a person? Do you stand by what he believe in, or, you know, and even that whole part like about America just being like just.
I feel like we do need to put America first and our problems here first. But it's like, the thing is, ever since I was a kid, I've been more conservative. So when I learned about Democrat, Republican, all that, I knew I fit in more with the right than anybody else. And I have difficulties with my dad and people about that because I'm more on the Republican side. But that's just me. Even before I started making money, I just knew I wanted the state, I wanted the federal government, every piece of government out of my business as much as possible. So I lean more towards that side than trying to have all these government programs and stuff like that. I feel that we need to do as much as we can for ourselves and take care of ourselves and build community and take care of ourselves. That's how I feel the black people will save themselves. They let go of those democratic beliefs and we start to work together and build community again and love each other. That's what I feel.
Yeah, it's about, like, when I think about where my political views come from, even when it comes down to being conservative, because, like, you could be more conservative on some social issues, but when you think about if a person heart explode, should they be worried about how they about to pay for it in the hospital? When I start thinking about anything that's with compassion towards people, that's what pushes me more to the left. So it's like, should we be the only country in the world paying for health care? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make any sense. So it's like, as far as depending on the government to survive, I can't say that I really agree with that because, you know, everybody got to work and put into the system. But when it comes to people that's really genuinely on hard times, for the government not to be there for them, that be
But
a problem.
it gotta be a time period on that. Like if you going through college, it'd be nice to be able to get some food stamps. If you just down on your luck and you actively looking for work, it's good to get some help in between. But for you to get years upon years upon years of benefits and you're not putting in any effort to get these things, now we are being pacified. Now we are being babied. Now we are being handicapped by the government. And then they could shut down the government and we screwed, because it's like, how am I going to eat this month? You know what I'm saying? Because you sitting here depending on something to work because the system been working for so many years, and then it stops. Now chaos comes. We need to be able to take care of ourselves at the end of the day.
Moving towards that way, we got to get healthcare for the people.
Yeah.
And that's what really had me politically activated back when Bernie Sanders was running. Because I was like, this is actually...
he was a good guy, by the way.
And he was really going for something that could benefit the people in a normal way, not just getting rid of it, but having, like, you can still have private insurance, but we're going to have a public option in case people don't have that option. And it may not be the best as the private insurance, but we still going to have this. But like when I saw the Democrats and the Republicans team up against him on Bloody Tuesday and get him up out of there, I was like, this is Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
And it's like they two sides of the same coin, and they not about to really even allow any real change in the system. But it's like,
I would say this. I do think our government system is too complicated. I understand that, you need these, some people feel like, you need all these branches to make everybody a voice, and so the people should be able to vote. But I also feel like these people shouldn't be in office for as long as they are, right?
Term limits.
I'm
tired of seeing old senile people running shit. There's a video of Mitch McConnell, and they asked him a question, and then he looks over and just falls. I was like,
"Excuse me, Senator. My name is Stella. I want to ask, do you support ICE taking working people off the streets and kidnapping them?"
I'm like, this nigga can't even walk in a straight line, and he making decisions.
Yeah, I think I saw something about Nancy Pelosi too.
Oh yeah, she's a walking corpse.
Yeah,
and they making decisions. Absolutely.
That's why we don't have any changes, any positive changes, because what they say about people get used to things being a certain type of way and they fear change. So if you got the same people in office, they don't want nothing to change. They say, hey, it's been working. It's good enough as is. That's why it's good to flood the market with different people so that we could get different ideas circulated.
I will say this, though. I do think, and it's so crazy to combine these two, but I do think the social media and technology and some of these tech giants is going to get into the political space and will be the first ones to end up changing something that been going on for years. Because the problem was going on now, even though these people are old, they're also getting almost obsolete, kind of sort of, because the way tech is going, and they'll become reliant on it.
It's funny that you said that, but that's kind of already happened. That's what Mark Zuckerberg, he was in court for a long period of time because they were talking about how Facebook was influencing elections.
The vote,
So
and they still do now.
He had to go to court for that, so he had to prove that was not happening, but he still couldn't prove it all the way because it's like, but like it's crazy with everything that he went to court for. That's exactly what Elon Musk did with Twitter. Mm-hmm. He bought Twitter and bended Twitter all the way to get Trump elected. And he ain't been in court. Now, what's going on with that?
I think the difference is with Facebook. The problem with Facebook was it was almost like how the bad advice or the fake ads, or you had AI and stuff like that. So you had a bunch of people giving the wrong information about politics, and then you have
Twitter got the same stuff.
Yeah, Twitter did too. But I think at the time Facebook was Facebook is like the godfather of all this kind of sort of not really godfather, but it's like the first real big platform that people really use to get their information from. Before, I want to say a little bit before YouTube and Twitter and Instagram. So I think with that, I think the problem was like, because I remember that, and I remember that he had to start taking videos down. Like he had to start banning people pages for putting out the wrong information and for swaying people. I think it's I ain't even try. But anyway, wait. Same, and you're right. The same thing with Elon Musk. He has done it, but maybe I think they just didn't want to waste their time with him.
And plus, like they probably couldn't pursue him because like they probably could have if Trump didn't end up getting that second term. Mm-hmm. But when with him and Trump ended up having a backdoor deal.
Yeah.
So he then
no diddy.
Yeah, but what I forget. Do y'all know what Elon Musk's organization was called that he had inside the White House?
Doge.
Yeah, Doge.
Doge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doge.
Doge.
Yeah, Doge. Mm-hmm. So he was able to get Doge into the government space because he helped get Trump elected, and that's probably, I feel like that's the only reason why he ain't had to go to court because that ended up panning out for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you ain't any last things. Oh well, I will say this. One real quick question. Mm-hmm. And I know you speak about this, how you want to know where your tax dollars are going, and you tired of being just not knowing where your tax money is going and things of that nature. How do you feel about the way the job market is going in today's time with AI? With there was I saw something with the owner or CEO of NVIDIA. He made graphics cards, and he said within the next 5 years, a lot of jobs are going to be lost, and a lot of jobs are going to be replaced with AI. And if you're not using AI, you're going to lose your job to somebody that's using AI.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to correlate with Domino's Pizza, but
actually, they have little robots delivering to people's houses now.
If AI take my job, they better replace my job with a stipend from the government. Unfortunately,
yeah, because that's the only thing I'll say about it. Real quick, because we got to get up out of here. But like he was talking about, the NVIDIA CEO was talking about AI replacing jobs, creating new jobs.
Right.
That's going to be very few.
Very few jobs.
We're getting replaced by AI. Cause like I only see it trending upward. Like they on the smallest scale possible, they just had the AI phone, two AIs talking to each other.
Oh yeah.
And then as the phone, they just talked to each other for about an hour, and then the phones figured out that they was talking to an AI. And I was like, so if the AI can run AI,
that's like good.
Yeah. It looked like the three of us gonna have to put our minds together to try to figure out something with AI and get rich, so we ain't gotta worry about it.
AI pod, AI Kommon Knowledge. All right. Any last words?
Shout out to the black people, man. Love y'all 100%.
What about you?
Nick Fuentes, I'm on to you, boy. I know what you're trying to do.
That we talk about this, by the way. I know a lot of black people see this and they go, man, why are you always talking about black people, this and that? Because there just needs to be some shame here. Well, there's a few reasons. First, white people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified.
Hey man, don't take everything personal. Everything ain't racist, all right? Let the person wear the hat. Let them wear the hat. But yeah, this is the Kommon Knowledge podcast. You got my co-host, No ID, aka No Idols, Mr. 310, leg day every day, and you got Ken, the analyst, here to make it happen. And we out.
All right, y'all.